The Einstein rule that solves 99% of your problems. There is a solitude to the modern world that can be painful. We are surrounded by a constant demand for more speed, more complexity, more ambition, and yet we can feel profoundly lost. We are led to believe that the path to a worthwhile life is found in elaborate strategies and intricate plans. We fall into lazy habits of thinking, assuming that a complex problem must surely demand a complex solution. But what if that assumption is the very thing that keeps us from moving forward? What if one of the most thoughtful minds of the last century, Albert Einstein, held a perspective that could quiet this noise? He dedicated his life to seeing past the chaos of the universe to find its elegant, underlying simplicity. It is from this lifelong attempt to acquire wisdom that we can draw a principle, a way of seeing that has the power to reorder our approach to nearly every challenge we face. 1. The fallacy of needless complexity. We often labor under a great fallacy, the belief that by adding layers of complexity, we are demonstrating rigor. We see it in our professional lives, where a clear purpose becomes lost in a sea of jargon and endless procedure. We see it in our personal lives, where the simple desire to be better becomes a monumental undertaking of countless new habits, each one a testament to our ambition, and each one a barrier to our beginning. This self-imposed complexity does not lead to a greater probability of success. Rather, it creates a kind of inertia. It makes the first step feel exhausting and the path forward overwhelming. Consider this. When a plan has 50 steps, the thought of the first is burdened by the weight of the other 59. When a goal is not expressed in plain words, we lack the clarity to act with conviction. It is here that our best intentions falter not from a lack of will, but from a want of simplicity. We are left suspended, not because our problems are without solution, but because our methods have become too complicated to execute. 2. The Einstein revelation. It is here that Albert Einstein's thought extends beyond the realm of theoretical physics and touches the art of living. Amid his work on the universe's most profound secrets, he was guided by a deep respect for simplicity. There is a saying that is often attributed to him: if you can explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. While there is no record of him saying these exact words, they capture the essence of his approach. It is not merely a suggestion for how to teach others. It is a diagnostic principle for one's own mind. If you cannot distill your problem, your aim, or your intention down to a single, clear sentence, then you have not yet grasped its core. You are still entangled in the secondary issues, the symptoms, the noise. Einstein himself believed that the highest goal of any theory was to make the fundamental elements as simple and as few as possible, without surrendering the truth of the matter. This pursuit of elegant simplicity is the filter we must use. It compels us to cut through the clutter and find the essential nature of our circumstances. If this reflection on clarity and wisdom resonates with you, I would invite you to continue this exploration with us. We are dedicated to the quiet consideration of timeless ideas that help us focus on what is of true value in this life. 3. How to apply this principle of simplicity. How, then, do we bring this way of thinking into our daily existence? Let us consider it in a few realms. First, in the matter of your life's work, you may face a great undertaking that feels insurmountable, a mountain of competing interests, projections, and demands. Here, you must apply the principle. Ask yourself, what is the one simple truth this work must achieve? Perhaps, beyond all the jargon, it is merely this: our work must be of genuine service to those who receive it. And the simplest next step, not to devise a new grand strategy, but perhaps to speak with 3 people we serve and listen with the intent to understand. In a moment, the paralysis lifts. You have a clear, simple action that is rooted in purpose. Second, consider your own growth. You may wish to become a person of greater substance, so you assemble a list of noble aspirations: to meditate, to study, to learn a new discipline, to read a library of books. The list itself is overwhelming. Apply the principle. What is the simple aim you are trying to achieve? Perhaps it is only, I wish to have a more contemplative mind. And what is the simplest action that moves you toward that end? I will set aside 10 minutes each morning for quiet reflection. By simplifying the goal and the action, you make it possible. Perseverance is no longer a monumental act of willpower because the task itself has been returned to a human scale. Finally, think of your relationships with others. A recurring difficulty with a loved one can feel like a tangled history of wounds and words. To apply this principle is to ask, what is the simple, core truth I am trying to express? Often, it is something fundamental, such as, I need to feel that my words are heard, or I wish to feel respected. When you can articulate your need with this much clarity, you can communicate it without the armor of past grievances. This is how understanding begins. This principle of simplicity is not an invitation to be simplistic, nor is it a call to ignore nuance. It is a call for the relentless pursuit of clarity. It is the wisdom to understand that within every complex problem, there is a simple core waiting to be discovered. When we discipline ourselves to find and articulate that core, we find our capacity for meaningful action. We replace anxiety with focus and overwhelm with deliberate movement. The next time you feel you are at an impasse with your work, with a personal goal, with another human being, pause and ask, have I found a simple explanation? If the answer is no, then your work is not yet to solve the problem. Your work is to stay with the questions longer until you have, as Einstein himself advised, try not to become a man of success, rather become a man of value. The greatest value, perhaps, comes not from mastering complexity, but from revealing the simple truth that was there all along. That is where the solution has been waiting.